You are listening to Detroit Craft Academy, episode number 8.
Academy, Detroit Crafts with Jody. Detroit Craft Academy.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. My name is Jody Lunn, and this is the podcast where I talk to creative entrepreneurs about crafting their dreams. On today's episode, I talk with Myron Watkins. Myron is a Detroit-based photographer and filmmaker. He has won awards for his films, and he is the creator behind the Yellow Wall project. Remember, if you like what you are hearing, be sure to show some love and review the show on iTunes. You can also drop me a line over at our website at DetroitCraftAcademy.com. And now, on with the show. Today I'm interviewing Myron at his studio, and do you guys have a name for this place?
Do we have a name for this place, Shad? Do we have a name for this place?
Yeah, Level 3 Studios.
Yeah. Level 3 Studios. We were going back and forth.
Okay, awesome.
So we finally settled.
So first, I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up and where did you go to school?
Actually, I grew up in Southfield. And I went to 3 different private schools before I went to public school. And so I kind of had a culture shock. Well, I had 2 culture shocks. The first 2 schools I went to were predominantly white, and then the third private school I went to was predominantly black. And so that was just a big...
Yeah.
I wasn't used to, different, you know?
Yeah.
And then I went from there and I went to Southfield High. So I went to Franklin Road, Southfield Christian, Faith Christian Academy, and then Southfield High.
Okay.
So, the first week, I'm at Southfield High. When I went to register, I was scared.
Yeah.
So, because I wasn't used to it. And I remember, my first week was just a big adjustment.
Yeah.
Somebody stole my book bag because I'm used to being able to, I can leave stuff.
Leave stuff around, yeah.
But, it was good that I'm glad that I didn't, just stay in private school all the way to college because
yeah.
Going to college would have been a whole...
That would have been a whole different world.
Yeah.
Shock.
I wouldn't have known what to do.
Yeah.
I'd have probably just been in my dorm room the entire time. So... But no, it was really good. I think it was good that I went to public school for the last little bit. Yeah.
So, and then, did you grow up with a creative family?
Oh, well, my mom used to be a teacher, and then she went from that into she worked at SBC. I don't know, kind of yes and no. Parts of my family, they sing and what. I found out that all the kids wound up being creative, and a lot of the adults, the parents and whatnot, not so much.
Yeah. So all the kids that you grew up with,
yeah,
you're all creative.
And it's I didn't even realize it until kind of recently. My one cousin, he's an actor. The other one's a singer. The other one's a makeup artist.
That's awesome.
And they all do stuff, and I'm wow.
I kind of have the same thing going on in my family. My age group of the family. All of our elders, that's what my family was Amish, so they have some weird terms.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
But all of the elders and the cousins, they're mostly creative.
Okay.
It's interesting how families rotate that. So
I guess I don't know if it's a transition from the baby boomers or whatnot into this new generation. But everybody, there's only one of my cousins I can think of that just has a regular job.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's it. Even my cousin, the one cousin that's in he's in Alabama. He's a what's it called? A youth counselor.
Yeah.
But he's still got a camera and he takes pictures of his kids.
Yeah, working with kids and doing that. Yeah.
So he's really interested in he's always calling me, asking questions. How do I do this?
Yeah.
What lens should I buy? He's hey, you look at my photos? Did you look at them? They're on Flickr. Did you look? No.
So if you did you're a full-time artist now, you only do art. Did you know that you wanted to be an artist when you grew up?
No.
No?
I thought I was going to be an engineer.
Did you really?
Yep. Oh, I was in DAPSEP. I was in the engineering academy at school. I was in the robotics program. I took all these CAD classes and drafting classes.
So when you started college, did you...
I was doing liberal arts, and then I actually switched my major 3 times.
Did you? I did too.
Yeah. So, and then, at the end, I was just all right. I did communications instead of
the art degree.
Because because I met some people. I just met people that were doing the things that I was like, hey, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I met some engineers and they hated their life. And I
Yeah.
was like, maybe I don't want to be an engineer. Maybe not.
I think your personality is too bubbly to be.
Be locked in it's like I'm good at math. I'm really good at science and like math reasoning and all that.
Yeah.
Which is so like, when I was going, I went to Marygrove before I went to Wayne State.
Okay.
And that's actually where like I started to really realize like I'm a mechanical thinker. And I tried to be more organic, and that's where it started at.
Yeah.
But I still fought it. I'm still mechanical. And so, like at the loft I used to have, it was just things out of my control, you know? And like the way things just operated, and it was like, you know what, I just need to let it happen versus trying to like completely control everything. And stuff just started working.
Yeah.
And it just happened organically.
Yeah. So how, like, what made you get into photography?
I used to always take the pictures, like at like my family reunions and stuff. Like, like hey, Myron, take the camera. Just 'cause I like technology too, so that's a big part of it. And I don't know, it's like I always like taking pictures. Like one thing that really made me do it is I wanted to make better backgrounds for like my MySpace page and stuff. And so I would go take like first I found Photoshop and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I got a camera and I'm taking I want my own photos so I can take them into Photoshop so I can make my own thing.
Yeah.
And then that just turned into a whole thing. And then one of my friends, he worked at the airport, and you know, like people leave stuff.
Yeah.
So somebody left the camera, and it was a little cheap Fuji camera, but it had a lens that zoomed in and out.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, you want this?
So is that in college that happened,
This
or is
is-
that in?
Yeah, like early. Like this is like when I'm still like, I'm gonna be an engineer, and then I switched to computer engineering. And
Yeah. So did you take? Was Wayne State the first place that you took photo classes at?
I took a photo class at Marygrove. That was like a black and white film class. And then I took I can't remember the name of the class.
We were in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was just like basic photography.
Yeah, 'cause they-
So side note for anyone that's listening, Myron and I used to be in a photography class at Wayne State, and that's how we met. And he's one of the only people that I've kept in contact with from Wayne State.
You do some awesome stuff too. Like,
I was so intimidated. Like literally, when you put your photos up, I was so intimidated by your stuff. I was like, oh my god, how am I like?
Cause they tried to put me in another class, like originally when I got to Wayne State, and I'm just sitting there like for real, like come on. Cause I'd already been like that was how I was making my money then, like.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, I know that. Like you were taking well, because like I went to Washtenaw Community College, and before I was in that class with you, I had taken 2.5 years of photo school at Washtenaw, and like I had the studio stuff and all that, and I saw your stuff. It was like, holy shit! You're like, I didn't take any classes at all. I'm like, what?
It was really me and two of my friends, and we're just like my one friend had a loft and he was a painter, and my other friend Anthony, he was taking photo classes at OCC, and we just all used to be like, hey, can we use your loft to like take pictures?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, come on. And so then we're just this little trifecta of us. So me, Anthony Collins, and Timothy Paul. I don't know if you know them, but they're like Tim's still doing photos. And then Anthony just went to Full Sail. And so now he's like doing movies and all that good stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it when like that happens.
Yeah, so it's cool to look back at our little, like we go on the river walk and we just mess up a lot and just take a whole bunch of pictures. And eventually we figured out how to do it right. So,
Yeah. It's like really cool when you find a creative group like that though, that you can like get, like you can explore things like that with, and then you look back at it and you're like, oh, all these people are actually doing something because like we helped each other grow, which is awesome.
We didn't even really, we were really doing it just because it was fun and this is what we enjoyed doing, you know, and that's where so it didn't feel like class. It didn't feel like we were like training, you know, like, but we were learning like how to make it the best we could make it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, that makes me really happy. So, what do you think? Why do you think you're drawn to photography and film?
Well, I like telling stories. Like, I actually want to start. I have started writing a little bit, but
Okay.
I like storytelling. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be a great granddad. You know.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like I appreciated my granddad, how he told stories. So, and you can with a picture you can make somebody look at something, you know, and that's what I like about photos.
Yeah.
Two things is you can make them pay attention, and that's the only thing that stops time. Like nothing stops time except a photograph.
Yeah.
So you can break the laws of physics with the photo, which is awesome, you know. And then I think photos mean more over time too.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
I will definitely agree with you on that
Yeah.
one.
Especially like I got photos of people, like you don't know what's gonna happen to that person. You know, like I took some pictures of somebody, and the next year they passed away. And so they just, you know, her sister and whatnot, and it was just like on a random day, we're just kind of chilling, and we went and rode bikes and stuff. And she's like, "Hey, do you got those pictures?" You know,
Yeah.
and it just made them so happy. Just had it because she didn't have any. They hadn't taken any pictures of her. She's only like 19. You know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah, it's like just like having those little tiny moments in time that like once you can take that click and you can capture it, but that's it.
Like I get lost on my computer sometimes, like just like I'm looking for something, and then I see a photo from like 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm like, oh, I remember this. Oh, and then you're like, next thing you know,
it's like a time warp. It's so funny, like people talk about getting stuck in like the internet hole or whatever. And I'm like, no, like I get stuck in the photo hole of going back through all of the photos.
I get lost in a hard drive. Like I was doing that earlier today.
Yeah.
So the thing I want to do better is organize my photos better, because just
Yeah. I'm still waiting for a way to make that available. Because even just like putting up the dates and stuff like that, it's just
it's hard.
it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And like I do illustration now.
Yeah.
So
you got extra files, like.
So like I'm doing, well, it's kind of like having the photos, but now like, you know, it's just like a scan of my drawings, and I have them, and I'm like trying to find a way to organize those files, and it's just like, ooh.
I try to organize them by date and whatnot. Then it's still like I might do 2 things on one day, and I'm like, well, wait, what was that? When was that? So I just have everything in Lightroom. I got like 100,000 photos in Lightroom, and I just try to. I'm like, all right, well, we're just gonna scroll back to
So how did you start getting into film then? Like
Wayne State, actually.
Wayne State, you did. Okay.
So like I mean, I always like. So the very first stuff I did was people saw my photos and they wanted me to make their videos look like my pictures. And so they'd be like, hey, can you come out to my music video and set up the lights so it looks like this picture? I'm like, yeah, you know, it's easy. And so I started doing that, and then I'm realizing like the lighting is a big part of the video, the look. And I'm like, well, you know, I kind of want to do my own videos.
Yeah.
Because like I wouldn't have as much control if I'm just doing the lighting. Because I might have an idea that I can't do it because it's not my set. And then Nikon came out with the D90.
Oh, with the video on it.
And that video, and I was like, oh man, I need this. And I took some of my student loan money and bought it.
Did you?
Yep,
That's a good thing. I've done that. I bought my first digital camera. I bought a Canon though.
I switched to Canon eventually, but
Did you?
It wasn't by choice. Somebody stole my Nikon. So, but I had the D90, and then I shot a music video for an artist I had just met him, and I was like, hey man, you want to do a music video? I got to do one for my final project. So I did a music video, and like I get, you know, this is all new stuff back then. Like nobody had seen like the DSLR. Like in order to do that, you had to have all this extra equipment. You had to get $1,500 adapters, and you were losing a stop and a half of light just to be able to use the lenses.
Yeah.
And it was like everybody kind of went crazy.
Yeah.
But I won the film festival with the music video.
The first one that you did? What year was that in?
Oh man, it was probably the same year. I don't remember what year that was.
Do you know how long ago it was?
I could look it up.
Like roughly? No, that's okay. You don't. I mean, like we can.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So I can post like a link or something to it. That would
probably
be.
whatever. Maybe like 2010, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe around there.
Well, that's awesome though.
Yeah. Like I didn't think I was about to win, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then I won that, and then it just kind of like stirred up a bunch of extra
Yeah.
stuff. And then me and that guy got really, like, me and him are really good friends now. So I've done like 4 or 5 videos for him since then.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he just introduced me to all his people. And then that just put me in a whole music realm that I like.
Yeah, like it's like a completely other playing field. Yeah.
It actually opened up a lot for me, is that one video.
Yeah.
And I had fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best part, is I didn't really know everything I was doing, but I feel like sometimes you just gotta, like, if you never do it or you never get it done, like, you can never progress or grow,
Yeah.
like, or even learn. Like,
Yeah.
one of my friends, he was telling me, like, basically the biggest problem with a lot of people is execution. Like, you can have all the ideas in the world, but they're just ideas and they don't exist until you execute them. Like, it'll never be perfect. You're never completely ready. And you just gotta, like, do it sometimes. Like,
Yeah. I went to a discussion panelist,
Okay.
and there was actually 2 photographers on the panel.
Okay.
One, Bree Gant,
yeah.
and Piper Carter.
Yeah.
But like, she was like, what did she say? She said something, and it was so cool. She's like, if you want to just like keep going, what you gotta do is you just gotta go and like talk to people that you're intimidated by, and just keep it up.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that is such good advice,
It
because
is.
otherwise, like, if you're afraid to do stuff,
You'll never do it.
yeah.
And like the guy that conversation with, like, he does Detroit versus Everybody. So like, and that's we were talking during that time when I was all bubbling up, and 90% of it is just execution. Like, like, half the millionaires that are out there, they just kept doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they probably failed a few times, but
Yeah.
you can't you can't stop.
Yeah, and like, I don't, like, it's kind of something that I've like started learning. Like, I own my own business. It's like, some people like if you work for somebody else and you fail, you might like let that emotionally affect you. Like, oh, I didn't do well. Like, but like, running your own business, if you fail, you can't let emotion like get in the way. You just have to like be like, okay, well, try something else.
Yeah. You got to get excited for the opportunity to do something new.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Like, okay, this didn't work out, so I learned this lesson, and now I can do this, figure out a different way to do it.
My mom used to always say, a mistake isn't a mistake as long as you learn something. So, like we've all made mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
But I've learned a lot now. So.
Yeah, for sure. And like just admitting. Like, I think that was a big thing that I've learned. Just is like admitting, like, when, especially doing work for somebody, I'm like, oh, this did not turn out well, and instead of like making excuses for it, just being like, I messed up. Can I reshoot these?
Yeah. See, like, I try to, like, even with like, I started taking like the mantra, like, everything is my fault. So, like, if there's any way I can prevent it, it was my fault. So if I think about it in the beginning like that, I'll probably do more to prevent things from going wrong.
Yeah.
So I'll go that extra, like, oh, well, maybe I should call them and make sure that they're going to do this thing that I just, I have faith they're going to do it. But I'm still going to check on them, because it's going to make me look bad if they don't do that thing. So,
Yeah. Oh.
everything's my fault.
I like that. I mean, I like that in a way of like keeping in
my
mind.
toes.
Yeah. It's like, it is a good mantra. So
It saved me a few times.
Oh.
Just by like being proactive, like, and just
Being prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So what's your favorite thing about being an artist in Detroit?
That my Mondays are always different. And I have doing photos. You have an excuse to literally do everything or anything. Like, I could go to the store and buy 100 balloons, or like, we're gonna go on a ski trip, or I'm gonna. Like, I can go in the hardware store and like literally have a reason to buy anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's exciting, because like, I used to like sales, so I used to work at Circuit City, and I like Circuit City. Yeah, it's a little while ago.
Well, I've worked those types of jobs too.
Yeah.
I worked at a camera store for.
That's part of what made me get my camera too.
Yeah.
Because I had to learn about the cameras.
Yeah, it's like you have to like learn how to sell it to other people.
Yeah.
Might as well sell it to yourself.
I'm like, man, this is nice. Like,
Yeah.
I need one of these. And then my mom actually bought my first camera. My mom bought it for me. She didn't give me a birthday present. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm an adult. Mm-hmm. And then she surprised me on Christmas and was like, hey, you got to take this seriously. This is why you didn't get a birthday present. So I saved the money for that.
So nice, though. Oh my gosh.
And that's when I switched to a photo major when I was at Marygrove.
Yeah.
And then I switched to communications when I came to Wayne State.
Wayne State, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's always something new, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like a cycle. Like that's what I get bored.
Mm-hmm.
So like if there's something new that I can do every day, that's great.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do the same thing over and over and over and over.
Yeah, totally.
But I have.
Well, of course, like
Yeah.
when you continue to do like the same,
Yeah.
so like I do these city portraits where I like draw cities.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of drawing cities. I'm just like I did like a couple of them and everyone's like, oh, will
I
you do
love
my
them.
city?
Yes.
I want you to do it just like this one, but mine. I'm like,
And then does it feel like it's starting to become work at that point?
yeah, it's like when you continue, like when it's like the same thing over and over again. It's like, okay, I got to find a way to break this cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so like I have that same type of predicament with the yellow wall stuff. Because it's like I've taken thousands of these pictures, but like sometimes I want to do something different.
Yeah.
But everybody wants the same thing, and it's like I don't want to kill it. I don't want to kill this thing that's alive and moving, but at the same time, I want to do something different.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's kind of like here. I haven't painted a wall yellow, and people every time people come here, they're like, "Where's the wall?
Where's the yellow wall? Yeah.
And I'm like, it's in our hearts.
Did you do Ebony's photos for Trish's garage?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Okay. That's like I just see the yellow wall, and I just always assumed that was. I had a feeling you did that, but
Yeah.
like I didn't. I wasn't sure.
That was cool. Like she was
Yeah.
one of the first ones that I shot
Yeah,
there.
and like to me, I saw that and I was like, oh, that's just her branding. She loves yellow.
She did have the yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just worked. It worked really well.
Yeah, it was perfect. Okay, so in the past couple years, Detroit has had a boom in the creativity, like in the creative field. Do you feel like there have been any challenges seeing more people coming into the city?
Competition for like grant money from outsiders.
Yeah.
That's one thing I would say, and it irritates a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even like murals in the market, like they painted over a lot of old art, you know, to put up this art.
That
that's-
is.
You know, and I get it. You're trying to increase tourism and whatnot, but there's no way to preserve that. You know?
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, all the New Yorkers are coming here, and it's raising the rent for the people that can barely afford it in the first place. So,
Oh. Yeah, that is. I've been.
those are my qualms.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like the rent thing is something that's definitely.
like in the time I was at my loft, I was there for I think 2 years. Like units that were 600 went to 900, and it's like that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Like especially when you have an unpredictable heat bill because the windows aren't sealed right.
Yeah, like this building is falling apart or whatever, and like I'm getting kicked out, so this big ass company can come in, fix it up, and turn around and charge like.
Yeah. Like all the people, there's been a few lofts that are like that have been what's the word, developed. Or like when they kicked out all those old people that were
On Griswold.
Yeah.
Yeah, like across from 1217.
Yeah.
And then everyone that was in 1217.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a few, and it's like it is displacing people, but I feel like something's gonna happen where there's gonna be a new community.
Yeah.
But then it's like, how long can that? Like I'm not even like this place we're in right now. Like I have no idea how long we're really gonna be here. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
this
like
is
to
at
be here
like
for a long
an
time.
amazing location too.
It's perfect. But what happens is I find a cool spot, and then it's almost like I don't want to bring attention to it because, you know, like I've been in two places that I was in, the building got sold. You know, but before I was there, like there was nobody had been there. Like the
Yeah.
one spot, nobody had been there for 30 years. And so I'm in there ripping up carpet and knocking out old drywall and
Yeah, fixing the place up.
Yeah. And then they're like, and I do events, and then somebody comes and sees it, and they tell their rich friend, blah, blah, blah.
And then the rich friend wants to buy the building next door, and why not just buy yours and kick you out of there?
When I was on Trumbull Lafayette, Dan Gilbert bought like 4 buildings down the street from me, and a whole little secret thing, and that just stirred this whole market.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as we know it, everybody's buildings just whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me really frustrated.
Yeah. It's like at
Well,
least
especially too, like for like growing up down here and like always like wanting to move like in the city and like be a part of things, and then it's like somebody that wants to buy a building that has been down here for a while, like
Right.
now I can't afford it because everyone from all these other cities
Right.
are coming in,
Right.
and like
it's like I would love to have some property. Like that was my goal with that spot, is I wanted to buy it, and the guy would not sell it to me.
yeah.
Like he kept. I'm trying to refrain from using 4-letter words and.
Oh, you can. This is my podcast, and we can do whatever you want.
Okay. Like he was doing stuff that just was, he knew what he was doing. He was playing a game with me.
Yeah.
And I just didn't realize because he seemed so nice.
Yeah, they always it's just like they're money grabbers, and like instead of like, I think like the community in Detroit is like so DIY and like get together and da 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 da, and like a lot of people just come in here and like they see that, and like there's a whole bunch of like con artists that come here too to like be like, oh, I'm gonna tell them that I'm gonna offer them something, take their money, and then disappear.
Yeah.
Like there was a show that I did, but they actually, like with artists, I think artists are way more
Susceptible.
trusting
Yeah.
of people that are going to offer them things, and it's not like, I guess like I've had to step back and be like, okay, like I can't use my artist brain and say, ooh, this project looks fun,
Right.
and I get money bonus. Like
Right.
I have to say like, okay, as a business decision, is this a good business decision for me to make? Because so the show had gotten 200 artists to come and set up the show. They charged everyone $250 for a booth spot, had claimed that they were going to be using the money to advertise to the community and all of this other stuff. So day of the show, come to find out, they did absolutely no advertising for the show. The woman that put on the show used all of that money to advertise for her gallery opening that was after the show in a different location.
Wow.
And the sponsors that she put at the bottom of the flyer for our show were people that were at
The new gallery.
her gallery opening.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So like, was there not a lot of people at the?
Nobody. Like literally the only people that came were like people that had been like walking down the street and saw a sign that was like art show.
So basically, everybody lost money at the show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There was like somebody that drove out from Pennsylvania, and she was like sitting in the corner crying the whole time. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, like, gas money, hotel fees, everything else.
Like somebody, they said artists tend to make bad businessmen, and most businessmen tend to make bad artists. Mm-hmm. And so, businessmen have always taken advantage. Good businessmen have always taken advantage of good artists.
Yeah,
So,
it's true.
and I still need to get better with my the business side, because I've gotten screwed over, and it's just all paperwork and stuff that I don't think about. Like,
Yeah. So what have been the biggest challenges for you for running your business?
It used to be like getting new business. Like the challenge I'm going through right now is trying to find a way to transfer the majority of my work from just mom and pop. Like I'm taking baby shower photos to doing campaigns.
Yeah.
Like, because they're different, but most like. I don't necessarily. There's nothing against like.
You want to work with organizations versus single people.
Yeah, like more business to business.
Yeah.
Versus 16th birthday party, unless it's like some super celeb's birthday party that can actually afford what my rate really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because like most people they're not used to spending this type of money that it really costs for production.
Yeah.
Like not just coming straight out their pocket, but like a business, they understand that like cost.
Yeah.
Like, like, if we brought out all these guys, you know, like each one of them has to eat that day. Each one of them has to pay bills. You know, you got man hours for editing afterwards with all these people. And if that's just one person coming out of their pocket and they're not used to like business expenses, they're just like,
Yeah.
what? No, that's super expensive. And it's like,
Yeah, like working one-on-one with people, it is like they don't understand how many hours go into. Like I've done work with like businesses before, like done illustrations for advertisements or whatever,
right.
versus like doing an or like an illustration for a single person. Like they don't understand like, oh, this is like a really complex thing. Like, yeah, I spent 85 hours on that.
Right.
I'm not doing that for $75.
Because
Like,
you can't.
yeah.
Like, you can't survive. Like, like,
yeah, and that's like I think that's like also a challenge that I have as well, is that trying to get people to understand what the value of art is. And I don't know, like like seem to understand that,
But
or
they
it's just
still
that they
try to
have
take
money
advantage.
that they can like throw.
they already have they're used to spending money on like they have a light bill that's different than a regular consumer light bill.
Yeah.
You know, so they're used to things being more expensive than they are expenses.
But who else is going to make a company look cool other than like an artist is the only person that can
Right.
do that?
They still try to take advantage too, though,
Yeah.
because they want to. Their whole job is to make profit. So I
Yeah.
get it. You know.
That's true. Gotta spend money to make money, though.
They try to spend as little money as possible, unless they understand value. So
Yeah.
I guess the thing is increasing my value to the point where I get paid what it's worth. Because we shouldn't get paid less than, like, doing that thing for 80 hours and making $75. It's less than minimum wage. Like,
Yeah, that's like not even $1 an hour.
no, you know, there's no. But people don't see, like, they think after I do a shoot that, oh, it's over. Like, no, I still have to go edit. Like, there's still a whole nother process.
Yeah. So I stopped doing wedding photography because it was like, okay, like you shot the pictures, now give them to me. I'm like,
Right. They're like, yeah, next day. Like, okay, so because of social media, like, companies are now starting to want stuff with, like, the 24-hour turnaround.
yeah,
Like, 24-hour, 48-hour turnaround. Otherwise, it doesn't matter anymore because I need to post it to social media right now. And so, like, some of the people that are getting work now are the ones that, like, they post instantly.
yeah,
Like, this one girl, she does concerts, and she posts the photos from the concert during the concert and edits them on her phone.
yeah. There's all those phone editing apps. I have a couple of them. They're actually pretty good.
No, it works.
And like they work. And you know, I want to hate them because I went to school and spent a ton of money,
Right.
like learning how to do that. And now you can just
that's the thing.
put a
That's-
filter on it.
That's how they feel about. That's how the film photographers felt when they introduced digital. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
They learned
It's
how to do
always,
it.
it's just,
Yeah.
you know.
That's the thing, though. It's like we have
Change.
to adapt. Like the market is changing always. And so the only thing I don't like the fact that turnaround time is shrinking. Like,
Yeah.
So I want to take my time with it and make it great. Like I worked with this company, and they would tell me they wanted the 1 minute recap, 24 hours, 11-minute interview, 48 hours. And this is like multicam.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's not really possible. Oh, we do that. We do that in New York all the time.
Of course they do in New York. Like,
Like, all right.
yeah. So then, like, creatively, what have been some of the challenges that you've had, especially with like the turnaround and stuff?
Well, like still being creative or trying to be creative in like this short time period and still maintain their turnaround time. Like that's the hardest part for me is because I want to do stuff that's cool, but it takes prep time and it takes time to execute. Like,
Yeah.
But they don't. And I have to make them understand that. And maybe that's the challenge, making them understand that good things tend to take time. You know, we could freestyle and maybe we get lucky, you know.
Yeah.
But if we actually plan it out, hey, this might be better. Promise you, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's production value. Like you can see it. You can see when somebody took time and put those fine details in versus like, oh, let's just go do this right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's been a challenge. What was exactly the question? One more time.
Like creatively. What have been some of the biggest challenges that you have had to overcome creatively?
Yeah. Another one is when I've had to do the same thing over and over again, to not get locked into that when I'm doing something that's different. Like I used to do a bunch of catalog stuff for this one boutique, and she needed her pictures to be a certain way, and then I would catch myself on another shoot, like locked into the same thing, and I'm like, wait, like stop! I can do other things. Like I can go from a different angle and like having to break that. Because it became muscle memory because I did it so many times for her that I started doing it on other shoots, and I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah, you get so used to like doing the same thing. Yeah.
It's like, let me get up and do something cool and different and creative.
What do you do like when you? I mean, you do such a like large variety of things, but do you have something like that you do when you have like a block, or like what inspires you when you need to get inspiration?
I try, I won't think about it. I'll like go do something completely different. Like in my old office, I had like a Razor scooter, and I was in this suite, and it was me and one other person in the whole suite, and that person was rarely there. So it was like a whole floor that's basically like empty, and I got my one office. If I had like a block, I'll just get on a little scooter and do laps around the office.
Yeah.
And boop, I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
Maybe physical movement and exercise kind of helps my brain start flowing. Like riding my bike and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that helps.
Yeah, I guess like that's kind of something that I've been thinking about lately too, is because stereotype of an artist, right? Is somebody that like, oh, I'm like an artist and I have to go and like hide myself away and make art and like just like this whole thing, and I'm like, actually no, because like art imitates life, right? So like you should be enjoying life to be inspired.
Yeah. I'm kind of an introvert. Like I'm an extroverted introvert.
I am too.
So like if I'm around too many people for too long, I gotta go into my cave and like recharge my batteries, and then I'm pleasant again. I can come out and because like Andy Warhol used to talk about the artist deserves to get paid because they're basically exerting their energy into you. Like if Beyonce does a show, she's tired. And everybody's leaving the crowd like, oh, that was so great, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's like after I do a shoot, I'm exhausted. Like if I do a long shoot or a wedding, I'm tired. I want to go home. Everybody's like, oh, hey, come drink. I'm like, I'm kind of. Thank you.
Yeah, I like the couple weddings that I did. I couldn't even like have a drink because I knew that if I did start drinking, I would like just fall asleep because it's like the mental capacity that it takes to stay on point with every single thing that's happening. And then I don't know if you have this happen, but like whenever I've shot weddings, I always get like uncle so-and-so or stepfather of the groom following around behind me with this camera that they just bought, being like, oh, you missed that shot. Like, I'm just like,
I was setting up the like the groomsmen and the bridesmaids, and like we're getting this, the big group shot, and like I get them all positioned right, and I step back, and I pick up my camera, and like one of the uncles came in, he's standing in front of me with his iPhone, and I'm like, hey, the guests are supposed to be inside, we'll be done in like 15 minutes. Oh, I'm gonna take my picture. And like, I was like, okay, well, just give me 15 minutes. You can take all the pictures you want.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't tell me, this is my family. You can't tell me what to do. I'm like, all right.
Well, your family's losing money right now, so you can explain to them why you have to pay me extra money.
Because I had to keep, it took me, you position everybody perfectly. And now they've all moved, And
now Uncle Joe's going to have
and he's up here basically trying to fight me because I'm asking him to please go inside.
Oh my gosh.
And that made me realize not to do cheap weddings too. Like cheap weddings, problems. Like the two of the groomsmen started fighting at that wedding, like before the wedding, and I had to go get grandma to calm them down.
Oh my gosh.
And because I wasn't about to get in it. Like
no way.
Grandma, no way. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
I was just like, yep, go get them, Grandma.
Grandma, you come on over here and fix this problem because,
Nope, not my problem.
yeah.
And then I'm like, do I take pictures like, of this fight going on?
Yeah.
Like, world star? Like,
Yeah. So you don't do weddings anymore?
I do weddings, but I normally only kind of do them for people I know because I feel a lot better about it. And I like the people.
And being able to be like, okay, friends.
Yeah, because like you feel better about it. Like when
Well,
you see
and
somebody,
like if you're telling somebody to move, motherfucker.
and I know them, and I know everybody's name, and I don't have to remember 20 names that day.
Oh my god, that's always been a challenge for me. I'm like, I have such a hard time remembering names. I'm just okay, bald guy, you go over there.
Yeah, like you, not you, right to the left of you. Sarah, to the left, tap her.
Yeah, move over. Okay, scoot down. Do you have a favorite project that you've worked on?
I mean, I have one that the most popular one is the yellow wall stuff. It's like that's weird though, because I didn't feel of it. Like I wanted to make something that was like tangible, right? And because like most of my photos, like you couldn't, like I'm like it's all like on the screen, and it's not like you can't like. And then I'm seeing my other friends that have like physical paintings and like sculptures, and I'm like I want something, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I feel like that project's more than just the photos, you know, because we were doing the shows, like we organized people like cleaning up, like it just made this whole community of things, and I mean it did help me do, like if I needed anything, like I could just go through this network of people, and it would just happen, and that was awesome. That was really awesome, and it could help, like if somebody's like, oh, we have a show, we have a improv show, oh hey, let's just tell everybody.
Yeah.
And just
get everyone in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool that you had like that kind of like broke into something new for you too.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome.
And it made me start, because like I would DJ the parties, I was setting up lights, setting up the atmosphere. Like my whole thing was like I like crafting the experience. So like I always kind of feel like I paint with people. Like as a director or a photographer, like you kind of paint with people.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get
your medium.
Yeah, you get their emotions in order. You get them to pose right, get them to relax. Like, get them comfortable with another person.
Yeah.
Like, or even just getting them there. Like.
Yeah. It's like weird too, because like you kind of have to, when you're photographing somebody, you can't just sit somebody down and photograph them. It's like a very intimate thing, so you have to kind of like get on their level and like
coax them into this. But it's like for some people it's traumatic. It's a traumatic experience. And like I had one girl she started crying and ran to the bathroom. Like, and I was just trying to take the picture like with the phone. And she's like, no. And I'm in shock. Like,
why did you want me to take your photos if you can't handle it?
Well, this is like I used to take everybody's, if they came in, like I used to make them take a picture as they came in, like, hey.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, so it was like she didn't know she was going to be photographed?
Because she came with one of my other friends. So, like, the whole thing is, in order for you to get there, you had to come with somebody who had already been there. And already you were like a client, so I gave you the address. So I never posted the address. And people that came there with somebody else, it's like, all right, I can trust you because you're responsible for your friend, you know? And then they kind of had a respect for it. They didn't do ratchet things.
Yeah.
But then the next spot got a little ratchet.
Yeah.
It's just like you got, like the first place was like I lived there. It was like my loft, and we had
That
stuff
was
sometimes.
the Trumbull.
That was Brooklyn Lofts.
Okay, yeah.
And then we went to Trumbull Lafayette, and that was more like a storefront almost, and it just turned into
crazy.
Yeah, a lot.
It's easy to get there, especially when you're sharing a space with other artists too, because artists also have some of the wildest personalities.
Yeah, that's the cool part though.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Like, and then you never know what's gonna happen. You never know what they're gonna bring into the door, because they're as random as I am. So random stuff just started collecting there, and it kind of built this whole vibe in the place. And like, you know, like people left so many things. Like even here, like people, like I don't understand how you leave your coat or leave your shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Like at parties or just like when you're
like
shooting?
a party.
Yeah.
Like it would be like somebody left their shoe. I'm like, how do you leave your boots? It's snowing outside. Like,
Yeah. Like where did your shoes go?
Like there'd be tops.
Somebody must have carried you out.
Yeah. So like, I mean, like it got, like, and I used to know everybody. Everybody that came in at the first spot, I knew everybody because I made them take a picture. The next spot was too many people.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just got buried into this. Like,
Were you afraid, like, with all your equipment and stuff being there?
A lot of stuff did get stolen.
Yeah.
And broken.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But
Yeah. That was always something that made me a little nervous. It's just I'm like, oh man. Like, especially with like studio lights and stuff like that. Like that's so we gotta hide away.
No, I used to try to hide everything. But like some of the stuff that got stolen would be like audio equipment, or like I had a T3i sitting under the DJ booth, disappeared. You know.
Yeah, I've had a couple of my cameras stolen.
Yep.
I actually had a camera stolen. Do you remember this? It was at Wayne State. I think it was in the class that we were in together, and I had my backpack like grabbed off my back. I think I was in class with you when that happened. Some guy was like riding his bike, and I had my backpack on my bike or on my back, and he like grabbed it in such a way that it made me flip around, and just the backpack like flew off my arms backwards. I didn't even know what happened. I was just like, what? Like,
wow.
And then off he goes with my new books and my camera. I was like, oh my God. I mean, luckily it was some like used 35 millimeter camera, but it was still like my camera.
Wow. I think I remember you losing the camera, but I don't remember that story of it though.
Yeah.
Like my camera got stolen. I've had 3 cameras stolen. So
I've had 2.
Yeah.
But I've had my car stolen.
Oh, I haven't had that happen. I've gotten in car accidents, but.
Oh, yeah, I've had that too. A lot of windows busted. It's kind of, I was talking to someone about this, like a couple days ago. I was like living down here, like, I was also like, I'm just so used to that just being a thing that like it doesn't really bother me anymore. And it's not that I'm just like, oh, like it's just more that I'm less materialistic. I guess I'm like, oh yeah, somebody just smashed the side of my car, and well, yeah, just a car.
Right. but that's like I started the transition from me being mechanical to like more organic. Like I was hanging around people that just really kind of didn't care. They were like, as long as I have a place to sleep and I got food, everything else is cool. Like, what are you really worried about? And I'm like, kind of right. Like, as long as I can still survive, like, and I'm not like I'm healthy. Like I'm worrying about things that I don't need to worry about. And I just stopped stressing about so many things. Cause I used to be super stressed.
Yeah.
Because everything had to be in order, in place.
I've started thinking in this, like, this has been my mantra in like the past couple, like probably like the past 6 months or so, is like, okay, at the end of the day, when I'm dying and I'm taking my last breath, I'm gonna look back at the experiences that I've had. I'm not gonna look back at anything that I've owned or touched or like, you know, and then the things that you create are the things that are left for other people to remember you.
Right.
So it's like they're remembering your experiences by like what you leave here.
And that's why I love photos.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so much so.
So.
Yeah.
Because like I'll look at, like, you can, if we dig up a box of photos from like the 50s, it doesn't even matter that we don't know who these people are.
Oh yeah, you can have so much fun looking at them.
Just gonna even looking what they're wearing, or like where they're standing at, like, 'cause, like some of the stuff, a lot of it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
So do you have any big plans for the upcoming year?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, I want to. It's like things that are like on the horizon. It's just really debating if I'm gonna move or not. Like that's the big thing.
Are you thinking about moving?
I've been thinking about moving
out of Michigan
for like a long time.
Yeah.
And like my cousins have really been trying to pressure me to do it. And it's almost like if I don't do it, I won't do it.
Where would you go?
I go to LA.
LA, yeah. I could see you doing really well there. I don't know, like you have that like really like calm, like totally chill, like you could like get in there and just be like, yep. Like, I don't know, he's just got that thing, I want to hire him.
And then I think it would just be like cool to just have a change of location, you know, just so like I have something and get lost. Like it's it's hard for me to get lost in Detroit now.
So if you could go back in time and give yourself advice, what advice would you give yourself?
Do what you want to do and do it now.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Don't wait to do it. Like, that's what somebody else told me too. Like, they just moved to LA and did all the stuff they want to do, and then they started working on films. But it's like, you're like I was saying earlier, you're never ready. Like, you're always like, hey, I need to do this thing first.
Yeah.
Or I'll do this after I do that. It's like, no, you should just cut through all the bullshit, for lack of a better word, and just do what you want to do and do it right now. And that's what I would tell myself.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I wasted so much time not doing what I wanted to do, trying to prepare, and it's like I'm still not ready.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel the same way.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Like just telling yourself to just go do it.
Yeah. And I'll tell myself spend money better.
I would tell myself that too. So as someone that has grown a creative business starting with just a camera, what advice would you give to those who are just starting off?
Okay. Use your warm network. Your warm network is like all the people that you know, like your mom, dad, cousin, uncle, friends, and use them to like help build your initial network. You know, like, you know, if you're trying to do photos, you know, you take all the photos of those people, and then that spreads to their friends, to their warm network, and then that grows and that grows. And then before you know it, you got a larger network of people that are interested in what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
not necessarily going out and doing free stuff for like all these like a lot of people trying to go do free work for all these different, like, oh, so and so they have all these followers on Instagram. They probably really don't care.
Yeah.
You know.
But doing it for like your friends and family and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you do it for your friends and family, they actually care and they help.
They'll help promote you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do it for this artist that has 100,000 followers. You're just one of this 100,000. They may not even tag you. They may not.
Yeah. You're just a fan to them.
Yeah. So like that's what I would say instead of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good advice. That's like solid, really good advice,
Well,
I
thank
feel.
you.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you.
And I hope that everyone listening had a good time.
Yay.
Cool. Yay. And that concludes episode number 8. I hope that you all enjoyed listening to the show. Remember to head on over to iTunes and give the show a review if you liked what you're listening to. And until next week, keep crafting your dreams.